Hey YouTube, Jonah here, and
Didn't you say you were writing a book?
about that. So the last video I put on YouTube was uploaded on January 25th of 2014. Born into a labyrinth, born into this elaborate structure. No memory of where it began. Oh jeez. Well, a lot has happened in my life since then. For one, I'm not even living in the same state, and the camera I was using to film at the time is currently in storage in New York. So I guess I'm stuck using this webcam for now, but make do. Anyway,
What happened? Where's the book? Why haven't you been able to commit to a YouTube channel even though you've claimed to want to so badly?
well, to be honest, it's not easy to talk about. When I was living in New York, my family was dealing with really severe financial issues. I'm not going to elaborate on that because honestly, it's bigger than just me as a singular person. What I can elaborate on though is that my mental health was really difficult to manage. I have PTSD and depression. One mental illness is pretty reactionary, and one isn't. Over time, I've been able to identify really key moments that will activate a reactionary episode due to past traumas. That's something I might elaborate on at a later date, but with my depression, you'll hear more from me on that sooner than later. The key factor that got me through all the panic attacks, all the thoughts I had to fight off, it was my best friend, my girlfriend, who I'm now living with halfway across the country from where I was originally living. And with her help, I've been able to take the right steps into becoming someone I like just a little bit more. I've been trying to take care of myself more, not only in regards to my mental health, but my physical health too. And there's no way I'd be able to do everything I've been doing without her encouragement. And her reminding me on my worst days that I am not all the awful and disgusting things that my illness tries to trick me into believing I am. Since I've moved from New York, my family has also moved from my childhood home. It's a really strange feeling knowing I'll never be able to go back. It's sad, but honestly also kind of a relief. I wanted to try this YouTube thing out again. I've honestly been working on video ideas for the past 5 years, and I wanted to see if I could finally execute any of them. Things like conversation-based videos, reviews, retro let's plays, poetry, and just talking about things that I wish were documented online more. Things that I wish I could have had when I was younger. I want to get back into the rhythm of creating things. So much is going on in the world, and I feel like I just need more than Twitter to release whatever this is, this energy. So,
What about the book?
this is what I get for being cocky and saying something was going to happen before it was finalized. That's something I'm really trying not to do anymore, especially on the fucking internet. I'm still writing, both story-based and poetic works, but with everything that's happened, I unfortunately can't indulge in any of the solidified plans to release any of it at the moment. Although that is the hope, I'd still like to release a book at some point. Multiple. But I'm honestly really happy I didn't release one 4 years ago. For my first book, I wanted to release these poems I wrote to help me cope with my mental illnesses with spontaneous sketches that were inspired by those individual pieces, some of which I guess I'll show here. Unfortunately, my old sketchbook is also in storage in New York, so you'll just have to settle for images from my Instagram and blog. When I first conceptualized my poetry book, the idea was that I'd self-publish, and as time went on, I drifted away from the self-publishing idea. I'd like to see what I can do with my creative work on YouTube, see what kind of attention that manifests, and maybe we'll see where things can go from there. The plan is to put out a new video, or videos really soon. something I feel like I needed to do. A tribute I'm making for someone we lost 1 year ago, Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park. Someone who means a lot to me. It's going to be released in 3 parts and a bonus video. The first part will be about my love for Chester and Lincoln Park and why they are my favorite band. The second part will be about reflecting on how I and the Lincoln Park community and the rest of the world reacted to the loss of Chester. The third will be about depression and my experiences with it, with the hopes that it could maybe help someone else suffering from it before it gets to the point that it tragically did with Chester. The bonus video will feature my 20 favorite Lincoln Park songs up until the time Chester passed. In the description below, I've linked to my Instagram, my Twitter, my blog, all of which you can follow to keep updated with when I might possibly release a new video, or me if you like me as a person. Yeah. Or you could subscribe. Click the little bell icon too. Get notifications of when I post videos, whenever that may be. If you check out my blog, ShonenJonah.tumblr.com, get it, because ShonenJonah. Anyway, if you click on Shonen Writes, you'll see my past posts, or Shonen Photos to see pictures I've taken, Shonen Sketches for random drawings I've done throughout the past few years, or just click on the ShonenJonah tag to see everything that's personalized for me. I've also divvied out my interests for anyone who maybe likes the same thing as me: Marvel, Linkin Park, John Green, Rick and Morty, Kevin Smith, Pokemon. Click around. Maybe you'll enjoy yourself. And for those of you that actually liked my last video, here's something just for you. Do you remember me? A recollection of a moment when I could empathize with my own sin. Do you remember me? A fractured reflection with untold expression, ever-changing, often deranging, solemnly spoken in. Do you remember me? All that we've experienced, the vivid archetypes of who we used to be. In a moment of weakness, a craving to find, attempting to seek closure in what you left behind. This pride you knew, now no longer felt. Constantly fearing the amount of times this hand will be dealt. A cringing expression, adjust your confession. Ever-changing, often deranging, solemnly spoken in. Outside perspectives will often question, do you remember me? The ongoing small talk, the pointless small talk, the time-wasting small talk, the agonizing small talk, if only to take a moment to ask and likely offend. I see you remember me? Do you know me? I can tell you recognize. I can tell you can imagine. But the me you remember is only a me I have been, and that me can no longer be. Please allow that to sink in. One walks away, they will carry on with their day, and you will continue to talk to the me that they had known prior. Alas, I had emerged, and you had forgotten. You must expect nothing and appreciate everything. And your past self will always follow. It will always be your guide. But when former expressions are exposed, it's best to let it slide. You know, you were always ignorant. You were always jealous, closed-minded, and blind. You always demoralized those who demoralized you. You sought attention, fearing you'd get left behind. You were always too slow. You always stood on the sideline of another life's tale. You always. And now, I defy those reminiscences. That's me no longer. I will throw your always into the building flame. This toxic always, as if I could not thrive. As if I could not become more than what this idea of me has remained. As if when the last human endures this world, I will forsake this concept, this toxic always, ever-changing, often deranging, solemnly spoken in. I did my time. I remained in my prison. And despite each and every change, I will not be forgiven. For I have learned through negligence and wealth that it is not easy balancing passion and health. How disheartening it's been made that you cannot acknowledge self without being paired to another. In their progress I observed, as I could not be the same. For one should not compare their evolution. Your spirit's not to blame. The distance achieved at a differing pace. It's challenging to remember being human should not be a race. Outside perspectives will often question, why did you have to change? They found comfort in your repetition, but they could not be me. I refuse the temptation of a stagnant life, acknowledging the wisdom that I will and will never grow. In breaking free, I could finally be the main character of this life, this story, one that you've never known. Aside from climax, this greatest feeling remains, a high from this feeling in remembering again, of finding what had been lost before. You've realized what you had forgot, ridding of this dreadful feeling that losing something important thought. Now you're getting stronger. You're getting stronger. And I will allow myself to begin again. I will swim against the current to discover brand new land.